Hello, my name is Pulaho Roy, and I'm a senior data journalist with Down to Earth magazine. I analyze a lot of spatial data and visualize them as well for the magazine. And in this video, we'll be going through what is GIS and how you can use GIS basically to connect a lot of dots and with different parameters for better communication basically. And for that, I have made a couple of slides which I would like to share with you. So yeah, here we go. So the first question is, what is GIS? Now, GIS, as the name stands, is a geographic information system, which is basically computer system or computer tool that we deploy to analyze and display geographically referenced information. Now, this information can be about anything, can be about any spatial data, basically. It can be about your neighborhood, or if you zoom out, it can be about the world itself. So, yeah, and so in a nutshell, GIS is basically about geographically referenced information. Now, the second question is, so why should we use GIS for our everyday problem? How do we solve them through GIS? For that, I think the best example would be this map. This map was drawn by a physician called Dr. John Snow in 1854. And what he was trying to do, what this map shows basically is you see these clusters, basically, these black polygons. And these black polygons are basically affected houses due to a cholera outbreak in London's Soho neighborhood. So this is 1854, and he was trying to investigate what's causing so many cases of cholera outbreak in this neighborhood. And he saw a pattern basically. He realized like all these cluster of houses, which is basically affected houses in the neighborhood, they were all close to a water pump. Now he to test his hypothesis basically to see like if the cholera outbreaks are happening due to this water pump which was supplying the water to the neighborhood. He asked officials to do away with the water pump, and right away the cases drastically came down basically. And so his hypothesis was basically maybe the water that was being supplied to the neighborhood was polluted. And they realized like after he did away with the water pump, after the officials did away with the water pump, they realized that the water that was being supplied to the neighborhood of Soho, basically, it was coming from section of the Thames, which was sewage polluted. So basically, they were getting sewage polluted water, and that led to a rise in cholera cases in the neighborhood. Now coming to the second slide, basically, here we're going to talk about the second point of the video, which is basically how do we use GIS technology to connect various dots and everything. So the way we use GIS technology is through a lot of softwares. And one of the softwares that we use for GIS is QGIS. In fact, like I'll be teaching QGIS for this tutorial. A brief introduction to QGIS is so QGIS is an open source software. And why is it open source? Is because the code that was used to build QGIS is out there on public domain. So basically, you can actually download the code and make edits to it, you know. So that's why it's called open source, and everything is for free. You have other softwares like ArcGIS and GRASS and everything. ArcGIS is paid. And that's why I think QGIS is so powerful, because it's all open source, and it's supported by GIS enthusiasts, and everything is for free. So that's what makes QGIS so powerful. And here is a map of how the world is going to look 250 million years from now. It was done by me, it was rendered by me. So, and this map was rendered on QGIS. So here's a brief example of what you can do with QGIS. Here's another example of a case study of QGIS, and you can find this example on the QGIS website itself. So basically, this map shows, so you have these two colors, absence and presence. So basically, what absence and presence shows is this tiger presence in the Nameri Tiger Reserve. It's a tiger reserve in the Shonipur district of Assam, and the officials there, they actually used QGIS to track, basically to monitor tiger presence in the Nameri Tiger Reserve, and they used camera traps and GPS coordinates, and then just loaded and rendered the data on QGIS. So there are different things that you can do with QGIS. Here's another example of it. And the final one is basically I'm going to talk about is how you can load QGIS. So if you want to load it in your system, you can go to this link called, which is hyperlinked here. And then depending on your system, whether it's a Mac, I use a Mac, but depending on your system, whether you use Mac or Microsoft or other systems, you can download it accordingly. So this one, I am guessing the first one here, this screenshot. I think this one is for, yeah, this is for Mac. And I would suggest that you download the 3.34 LTR, the long-term release version, instead of the 3.38, because I find the LTR to be more stable version in the sense that it won't crash. But just go ahead. You can download either of the two, but I would suggest that download the 3.334 LTR because I'll be using that version. But if you're a Windows user, then you can download from here. You can just scroll down in the web page, and there'll be a section where you have for other platforms, and here's the download for Windows, and you can download the same version, which is the 3.34 LTR. So yeah, I think for now we are good, and I'll be seeing you again. This was just a very brief introduction of QGIS, and I'll walk you through more steps about how to load data and how to analyze and visualize maps and everything in our next tutorial. Thank you so much for your time.